What do you call an alligator who solves mysteries?
When I have a worry-filled mind, I like to wander outside. No telling what we might find. Birds calling, worms crawling, leaves falling down from above. Oh, I plant my feet on the ground. I keep my head in the clouds. I let my feelings out loud. I hear joy calling, fear crawling, tears falling down out of love.
Welcome, friends. My name is Mrs. A, and I hope you heard the joke at the beginning of this episode. I asked, what do you call an alligator who solves mysteries? An investigator. Friends, I hope that you enjoyed that joke. All of January, we are starting off with jokes to help us get some giggles out, help us lighten our spirits and feel a little bit more calm and happy. And so I hope that joke made you feel calm or happy or giggle. Now, I always like to start off with a feelings check-in, and you may remember the zones of regulation here. Each zone represents a different way that our brain and our body could be feeling at any time. For example, sometimes I feel really overwhelmed, really stressed out, like I could just explode. That means I'm in the red zone. Other times, I might feel a little overwhelmed, kind of worried, not able to focus or think very clearly. That means I'm in the yellow zone. Then there are times where I feel really comfortable, really settled, at ease. That means I'm in the green zone. And there are also times where I feel really tired, kind of slow moving, not really sure what I want to do, or not really able to think very clearly, kind of feeling foggy. That means I'm in the blue zone. And each zone can happen any time of the day to any of us. We may start off in the morning in one zone and then move to another zone or another zone. And one thing I really enjoy is that we can listen to our body and notice those signals and messages that it's sending us. And we can help our bodies move toward a zone if we want to. For example, if I wake up feeling really tired, kind of like a zombie, just slow moving, not able to do too much, I know that I can move my body and I'll move toward the green zone. It helps me feel more awake. It helps me clear my mind. It helps me feel like I'm able to think clearly and just feel settled and comfortable in my body. And so maybe you have strategies too that help you when you're feeling one way and you know you'd like to feel a different way. We talk about different ways we can do that, like moving our body, like practicing mindfulness, and so many others. And so I hope you try them anytime you feel stuck in a zone and you want to move to a different one. But right now, what I'd like you to do is grab an object that matches the color zone you're in. So think for a minute. What's your body telling you? Will you grab an object that matches that color? Did you find one? Great, me too. I found a green roll of tape that was nearby. I'm feeling in the green zone today, feeling comfortable, feeling clear-headed, feeling settled. How about you? Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Thank you for grabbing an object or thinking of your color. I really appreciate when you take the time to think about your feelings and communicate them with me, communicate them to yourself, communicate them to the people around you. It's a really great practice that can help you today, right now, and in the future. Another great thing that can help you is to move your body. Maybe you're similar to me. I mentioned that moving around helps clear my mind and help my body feel really comfortable. And one way I like to move is to the date. So will you check out the date with me? It is 1/10/22. Yeah. And another way to say that is January 10th, 2022. Now remember, my date might be different than your date right now. That's okay. When we exercise, feel free to add on some numbers as you need. But before we get started, let's check in with Fig. They're showing us a move that we'll do at the end of our date exercise. Do you have any guesses? Do you see how they have their body? You can keep making some observations, keep making some guesses, and when we get to 22, Fig will let us know. To start us off, I thought we could do 1 reverse push-up. That means we'll need a table or a couch or a chair that's really sturdy that we can rest our hands on, and we'll stick our legs out straight and do a push-up in reverse. Usually our bellies and our face the ground. When we do a reverse push-up, our back and our bottom faces the ground. So once you're in a good position, we can get started. We'll just do 1, so we'll count backwards. Ready? 1. Great job. Thanks for giving that a try today. Next, we have number 10 for the 10th day in January. And I thought we could run in place. But 10 is an even number. I see that I can split it equally, 5 and 5. And so we're going to count by 2s. Maybe you know how to count by 2s. Maybe you don't know how to count by 2s yet. Now's a great time to practice. Even if you feel confident counting by 2s, go ahead and count along with me. It'll help actually make your brain learn it even better. So let's run in place for 10 seconds, counting by 2. Ready? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Nice work. Now we need to check in with Fig to see what we're going to do 22 of. Fig, what should we do? Twists. Thanks, Fig. Okay, we're going to do 22 twists. And although 22 is a big number, I can see it ends in a 2. Do you think it is an even or odd number? Yes, it's even because I can share it equally. I can give you 1 and I can keep 1, and we both have the same. And so we're going to count by 2s as we twist 22 times. Will you try it with me? Great. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Nice work. Now, I always like to take 3 breaths after we exercise and move our body because it helps me lower my heart rate and feel more settled. And so I'm hoping you'll try these 3 big breaths with me. Listen for the bell, and as you do, breathe in and then slowly breathe out. You ready? Thanks for trying that out. Hopefully you're feeling more settled and ready to go for our next job together. You probably already know, but each time we're together, I love to share a message with you about what we're going to be thinking about or practicing or trying out today. So go ahead and take a peek at my message. And as you listen or read, see if you can spot any alliterations. Remember, alliterations are words that are next to each other or nearby that start with the same letter or sound right at the beginning of the word. Dear fantastic friends, do you remember what we talked about in my last episode? It means to do your job as best as you can and apologize and help fix mistakes when you make them. It's responsibility. When we act responsibly and make responsible choices, we are helping our community, family, and ourselves. being responsible is a way for us all to practice being safe, kind, and make our world a wonderful place to be. Today, we're going to look at some books that can help us better understand responsibility. But before that, a mesmerizing mystery. Love, Mrs. A. Friends, maybe you knew at the beginning when I gave us a joke about an alligator solving a mystery that we were going to have another Mystery Monday. Maybe you didn't know, that's okay. But oftentimes throughout the month, I'll sprinkle in some mysteries for you to solve. And I'd like you to try your best at being an investigator or being a detective today. And so I have a mystery that you'll have to solve. It's right here in this mystery box. But before we get to it, I need you to help me with a little magic trick. Will you help bring my mystery up? Right now, I don't see a mystery. But if you rub your hands together, or clap, or stomp, or snap if you know how, then we will get it ready. We'll do a 3-second countdown so all of our magic works together. 3, 2, 1. Oh, awesome job. Thank you so much for helping me with that magic trick. Now, when I have a mystery riddle, there's a poem here that we'll read and listen to together. And then there's also something hiding in this box, and they're connected. This poem is going to help us solve what's in that mystery box. So let's get started by reading the riddle. It says, "We're very small, but can cover it all. We're each unique, and in winter we fall. You can build us into people, angels, and balls. For igloos, we're used to make walls. We're made of water that's turned to ice. Sometimes when we're out, people say it's a magical winter paradise." Do you have any guesses? Let's take a peek. Before we open it, I like to listen. Sounds kind of like small things are moving, but not rolling. I can tell you it's really light. I can hold it with like one finger. And it's also really cold. What do you think the mystery is? Do you know something that falls in winter can be turned into people, angels, or balls? Do you know what igloos, walls are made out of? Yes! Snowflakes or snow. And friends, I did not put real snow in here because I knew it would melt inside my home. But I did put some paper snowflakes that I've cut out and made with my friends and with my family and with my students. And so I wanted to share some of these with you because I thought snowflakes, especially paper snowflakes, are a really great way for us to practice responsibility. What in the world am I talking about? Well, what materials do you think you need if you're going to make paper snowflakes? Paper, and scissors, yeah. And when we work with scissors, especially, we can practice being responsible by using them safely, by cutting carefully, by sharing them in a responsible and safe way. And so I wanted to challenge you, friends, to try to make some snowflakes today or this week and do it in a responsible way. Make sure that you're being safe. Make sure that you're using the materials correctly. And if you're not sure how, ask your grown-ups to show you the best way to use scissors. Now, before we get to our books, will you help me remove this mystery riddle? Once more, work that magic. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Thanks for your help. Since we've been talking about responsibility today, I wanted to share some books with you that are really great examples of that. This first one is a combination of silly and responsible. It's called Do Unto Otters. It's a book about manners or ways to be responsible, and it's by Lori Keller. And there are a lot of great parts in this book, but one of my favorites is right here, where it says, "I'd like otters to be considerate." You know, being a good listener, not littering, being on time, helping neighbors untangle their ears. It's always good to have a considerate neighbor. And it wouldn't hurt otters to be kind. Everyone appreciates a kind act, no matter how bad it smells. Oh, and what's that word? Cooperate. Otters should learn to cooperate. Cooperate means to work well together, just like the word collaborate we talked about in the past. And if you're not familiar with what it means to collaborate, that's another great way you can practice responsibility. So you can check out some of my previous videos all about collaboration and hear about some of the great books or resources that I have about that. So Do Unto Otters is a good book to learn a bit more about manners, kindness, and responsibility. Then there's The Paperboy. This is one of my favorites because it feels like a different book than many of the other books I've read. The illustrations are a bit dark. The story might be a bit unfamiliar. Maybe you don't know anyone who does what this Paperboy does, but I really enjoy it, and I'm going to share just a peek with you. This is written and illustrated by Dave Pilkey. He actually wrote the story and did paintings to do the illustrations. The mornings of the Paperboy are still dark, and they are always cold, even in the summer. And on these cold mornings, the Paperboy's bed is still warm, and it is always hard to get out, even for his dog. And maybe you know exactly what they're describing. Sometimes, when you have a job to do, it's hard to get out of your cozy, warm bed. But being responsible means you get up and do it. But they do. They're getting up, getting ready, even though it was cozy and warm. And softly they step down the quiet hall, past the door where their Paperboy's father and mother are sleeping, past the door where his sister is asleep. Here's another great example of how the Paperboy is being responsible. Even though he's up early, he's walking quietly past the bedrooms of his family members so he doesn't wake them. That's a way to be responsible and to show kindness. The Paperboy is a really beautiful book and a great example of how you can be responsible. So please check it out from your library or grab it from your local bookstore. And finally, a book that I love that definitely connects responsibility and silliness and laughter. It's called Scaredy Squirrel Makes a Friend. It's by Mélanie Watt. And I'm so glad that Kids Can Press has given me a permission to share this with you and gifted me this book so I can read it. And I love this book because we're going to see Scaredy Squirrel, who is really super duper responsible, sometimes even too responsible. But as we read, you'll see he learns that responsibility and safety are important, but sometimes the plans can change or unexpected things can happen and they can still be wonderful. So let's listen to Scaredy Squirrel Makes a Friend by Mélanie Watt. Warning! Scaredy Squirrel insists that everyone brush their teeth with germ-fighting toothpaste before reading this book. There's that silliness I was talking about. Scaredy Squirrel Makes a Friend by Mélanie Watt. Scaredy Squirrel doesn't have a friend. He'd rather be alone than risk encountering someone dangerous. A squirrel could get bitten. A few individuals Scaredy Squirrel is afraid to be bitten by. A walrus, bunnies, beavers, piranhas, Godzilla. So Scaredy Squirrel finds interesting ways to pass the time all by himself. I wonder what hobbies Scaredy Squirrel has. He reads, he whistles, he crafts, he yawns, he knits, he chats, he counts, until one day he spots Do you see what he spots? Someone perfectly safe. Goldfish. The perfect friend, according to Scaredy Squirrel. Bubbly personality. Squeaky clean. Quiet. No teeth. Doesn't do much, but is 100% safe and germ-free. A few items Scaredy Squirrel needs to make the perfect friend. Lemon, name tag, mittens, comb, mirror, air freshener, toothbrush, chew toy. How to make the perfect first impression. Tame bad hair. Prepare freshly squeezed lemonade. Brush teeth thoroughly and practice smile. Check for nutty breath and food caught between teeth. Wear mittens to hide sweaty paws. Make sure name tag is visible. Use pine scent to smell delightful. And follow the perfect plan. Do you think Scaredy Squirrel needs all of these things? I don't either, but let's see what he does. The perfect plan. Whoa. Step 1, toss down the chew toy to distract biters. Step 2, use the mirror to check hair and teeth. Step 3, run to the fountain. Step 4, point to name tag and smile. Step 5, offer lemonade. Step 6, make the perfect friend. But let's say, just for example, that Scaredy Squirrel did come face to face with a potential biter. He knows exactly what not to do. See, he's really prepared, super duper responsible. Do not show fear. Do not show your fingers. Do not make eye contact. Do not make any loud noises. If all else fails, play dead. And hand over the test. Scaredy's risk test. Who are you? How many teeth do you have? What's your hobby? What do you see? A friend or something to bite? Wow. Scaredy Squirrel has thought through this process so carefully. With every detail under control, Scaredy Squirrel puts the plan into action. First, he tosses the chew toy. Then he heads down the tree. Everything is perfect until he hears a strange sound coming from behind. Squeak! And he realizes objects in mirror are closer than they appear. What did he see? It's a dog! This was not part of the plan. The dog chases Scaredy around the bush, around the fountain, and around in circles until Scaredy Squirrel plays dead. 30 minutes later, 1 hour later, 2 hours later. After all this time, Scaredy Squirrel realizes that the dog doesn't want to bite him. What do you think the dog might want? He just wants a friend. Scaredy Squirrel points to his name tag and smiles. Then he starts chasing his new buddy. They play fetch, they play hide and seek, and they play dead. Scaredy Squirrel forgets all about the goldfish, not to mention the walruses, bunnies, beavers, piranhas, and Godzilla. Time flies when you're having fun. All this excitement inspires Scaredy Squirrel to make a few minor changes to his idea of a friend. My almost perfect friend, according to Scaredy Squirrel. Wet doggy smell, muddy paws, loud bark, drool, tooth, germs. 83% safe, but lots of fun. P.S. As for the wet doggy smell, it's been taken care of. And do you see how responsible and safe Scaredy Squirrel was? Yeah, maybe even a little too much. But do you see how he adjusted and still stayed safe and responsible when things went a little differently? That's why I love Scaredy Squirrel so much. I hope you really enjoyed this book. There are many other Scaredy Squirrel books in this series, so be sure to check them out if you haven't already. I wanted to give a quick shout out to 2 friends who I know are super duper responsible, always making sure they're safe, always practicing being kind. And that's Nora and Clayton. So if you're watching today, Nora and Clayton, thanks for being such great role models of responsibility. And finally, friends, we have a mindful moment to practice, and it's connected to our mystery today. It's a stretch called Snowflake Stretch. And what I'd like you to do is sit up nice and tall, or stand up if you'd like. And we're going to put our hands up as if we are a big snow cloud. And each of our fingers are going to become snowflakes. And so we'll breathe in as we reach our arms up, and breathe out as we let the snow fall. We'll do this 5 times. Will you breathe with me? Great. Stretch up nice and high. And then let your snowflakes fall as you breathe out. Let's do 4 more stretches. It's like a blizzard. 2 more. Friends, thanks for trying out that mindful moment with me today. And thank you so much for joining me for Scaredy, Squirrel, and all these other wonderful books. I hope you make it a great rest of the day. And I want to send you off with some love if you want it, a hug if you'd like it. And I can't wait to see you next time.